All right, we have the Patriot skin for our first foray into the Ancient Gods, Part 1.
That's a pretty sick outfit. I like the little, whatever you call that thing on his hip.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's just a ribbon?
Yeah. Like, you know those ones you see people hang on their houses that are, like, half circle-shaped?
Mm-hmm. Almost like a wreath.
Yeah. So that confused me the first time I opened the DLC. I'm like, wait, why are you telling me this again? Like, you have all the tools. Yes, I know. I just beat the game.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm actually not the biggest fan of the skins that are basically just the default skin, but with some extra stuff glued to it.
Yeah.
I prefer the ones that really go crazy. All right, so things are looking a lot better since the end of the campaign, but there's still problems. So yeah, the demons are taking over Urdak.
I noticed.
So you may have noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, you may have noticed at the beginning there that there's a new song on the main menu.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a different theme for the Ancient Gods, which, when Ancient Gods came out, it replaced the main menu theme, and some people weren't happy. They preferred the main game. And then later, they changed it back, and some people were like, but I liked the Ancient Gods theme, so later they just added the ability to choose.
Dr. Hayden, ready to launch the package, sir.
Yeah, sharpen that cylindrical object.
Sparkler.
Regain control of Urdak without the Seraphim's help. You broke the seal when you awakened the icon of sin in their world. The balance between their two dimensions has been broken with the demons now in control of Urdak.
Okay, so following up on events from the first game, everything's making sense.
I wonder if they took this one off the Fortress of Doom, or they had their own portal.
That's a good question. Not sure. Yeah, Fortress of Doom doesn't show up in this DLC at all. Your main hub is this floating headquarters.
I noticed a little blip before the text star that showed the ship. That was a really weird glitch. It wasn't that weird, but
So yeah, so this DLC came out, trying to remember when. It was at least 6 months after the game launched. I want to say November of that year, of 2020.
So, I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this DLC, I did not expect it to go from heaven to a corrupted Earth to oil rig.
Sure, let's get crazy. Let's go places we've never been before.
And it's fun.
So, the Ancient Gods is, particularly Part 1, is infamously much, much harder than the base game.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, and it was somewhat controversial. There were a lot of people who felt like it was taking things a little too far, and that. So one of the arguments was that it's hard to get into the Doom power fantasy when getting cornered by 2 zombies is enough to for the Slayer to die, which to an extent also applies to the base game, but more it became even more so of that in this DLC.
It's why I play Amazing Spider-Man on super easy, because I'm like, Spider-Man should be able to take and give a punch. Oh, they're dropping in.
Yep. Now, the response to that from a passionate section of the fan base was that the power fantasy you earn is always going to be better than the one that's just kind of handed to you.
Right.
And once we get to Ancient Gods Part 2, I will follow up on that point. But yeah, this initial totally meant to do that. This initial fight on this rig here is a rude awakening for anyone who thought that this DLC was going to be a cakewalk.
Because I was like, my gosh, this is bad. Like, some of these fights, I found myself not dying as much, but the fights did take longer, and I was just like, oh, come on. Of course, it helped I came fresh off of the base game when I did it. Well, I gave it a little time.
Now, one point that I should bring up is that the Ancient Gods Part 1, as it currently exists, is slightly different from how it first launched. There were a few changes, but yeah, that once again, that's something I'll get into a bit later.
So, if I could give a little sneak peek of something you earned in this level, I was hyper disappointed. Every level has a skin, and this is when I found out that the skins are just recolors. Because I heard tactical espionage, or something like that, and or I can't remember the name of the
I believe
skin.
it's industrial espionage.
Yeah, that's it. So for some addled part of my brain, I pictured this reminding me of a GoldenEye James Bond level, and as such, I was really hoping the skin would be him in a tuxedo. That did not happen.
I guess they didn't... Oh, sorry about that. I guess they didn't want to lock the good skins behind the paywall of the DLC.
Right, that's fair. Of course, there's a solution to this, which is you make them paid, but you also make earning them manageable.
Well, I mean, having paid skins was kind of them lying in the first place, because they said they wouldn't do that.
I just mean to say, it's like, oh, everything's free, it's just asterisk takes you an inhuman amount of time and effort to get it free.
Which I would disagree. It was not an inhuman amount of time to get all this stuff, because I did that, personally.
Oh, you didn't have to... I just mean other companies will really take that to
Yes, definitely. The excuse of, it costs $5 for this skin, but don't worry, you can grind for 60 hours to get it instead.
It's like,
That's not an excuse.
I could have worked at a job and earned the money to pay for that skin faster. Boom.
And guess which one they want you to do? The one that gives them more money.
Yep.
I mean, I remember when all cosmetics and whatnot were free. Yes, there were a lot fewer of them, but it was better.
Yeah. I'd say the earliest Harbinger was on-disc DLC.
Oh boy. And you know what? There was actual real pushback against that, and they just found other ways that were more insidious, as it were.
Because here's the thing, on-disc DLC is technically fraud. Although then they get into the, oh, you only have a license to... I'm like, F off with that. Anyway. So, as far as level goes, how do you like this one?
It is a long one.
Yes, it is.
Probably, it might be the longest in the DLC among all of Ancient Gods. I quite like it. I don't know. It's giving us a little different look at the UAC, I guess. Oh, that's right. I did die here.
Oh. Well, at least we got to see that Mancubus's dumpy.
Yeah, so I did manage to sneak one in before I got a couple extra lives. So, yeah, I wasn't particularly careful there.
Yeah, there's a specific encounter in this level that when we get to it, I'll say, this was the one. This was the one that made the level outstay its welcome.
I think I know which one. But yeah, I generally like it. I don't tend to go back to any of the DLC levels just because they're so long. But I certainly like playing it when I do go for a full playthrough. That said, there is one thing about this level that breaks what I feel should have been a cardinal, or like a rule for the whole thing, and I'm like, oh, that's lame. But that's not until later.
I see. I gotta give them credit, the scaling of this place is pretty immense. Like, when I picture an oil rig, they are big. Like, they're much bigger than you might realize if you've never, like, seen a tour of one on YouTube or something, but this one is just immense. And it's not just one platform, it's many, many platforms, so that's kind of cool. I love the joke.
And I'm not even sure if this was originally intended as if this is supposed to be like an oil rig. It might just be a research facility that happens to be on the ocean.
I guess I say oil rig because that's the closest thing we really have in reality to something like this.
Oh, I think I may know another reason why this isn't your favorite level. It's called the UAC Atlantica Facility. Kingdom Hearts 1 strikes again.
I took an embarrassing amount of time getting through that stupid world. I couldn't find I couldn't find Triton's castle. I kept going in circles for hours.
Honestly, it takes until like your second or even third playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 1 before you truly can wrap your head around all of the twists and turns there. It's simpler than you think, but it is not intuitive.
Well, the problem is there aren't very good visual cues. Ariel's grotto is like, oh, it's hidden under a rock.
It's behind a rock.
I wouldn't have thought to look under a rock, even though that's in the movie.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So, sometimes when you're adapting visual mediums to interactive, it's like, oh, this is not the way a game would have done it.
Yes, this is the room that I was like, please stop.
Yeah, there's two big old fights here. One now and one in just a minute.
And that's what threw me off so bad. There's another reason I got thrown off, but I'll explain when it happens. Well, you know, at least Atlantica wasn't Deep Jungle sucks.
Yeah, Deep Jungle, I mean, it's not even the layout of Deep Jungle that's the problem. It's more the fact that figuring out what you're supposed to do next is very bizarre. It's like, oh, of course I was supposed to go across the map to this one room so that a cutscene would trigger.
Yeah, and the other problem, and this is embarrassing as well, I thought that swinging was aim-based, and I'm shocked that I got to like the third vine without using the intended method, but I spent a good hour, if not more, not understanding how to use those vines.
Yeah, no, they're about as simple as the grapple beam from Other M.
You know, I can't even remember the grapple beam. That's how much it just blocked out my memory. Oh, no, I remember now.
So, just a minute ago, we got the introduction of a new enemy type, which is the turret.
Oh, right, the turret.
How'd you do with the turrets?
You know, they take way more damage than I feel like they should. Like, they take, what, 2, 3 precision bolts?
Something like that.
But I never think to use the ballista on them. And I have a feeling that's better.
My preferred solution is 2 sticky grenades.
That's way better.
Yes. So at first I was also trying to do the precision bolt. The thing is that they retreat if you look at them too long, which is like...
Oh, I thought it was a proximity thing.
It's both. They also retract if you get too close. But I also think that they don't retract if you... like, it depends on which gun you're looking at.
Okay.
Like, looking at them with a precision bolt from far away, they'll retreat. But looking at them with the shotgun from a long way away, they don't.
Okay. Considering I'm the sticky man, I'm surprised I never tried that.
Yeah, I've come to the idea that those are the best way to deal with turrets. They retreat less, and you can get off those 2 shots pretty dang quick.
Yeah. When I got the penta stickies, like the 5-shot stickies, I realized right away, like, yes, the super shotgun is good, but unloading 10 sticky grenades in rapid succession ain't half bad either.
Yeah, when I first played, I definitely made good use of the 5-shot sticky grenade. However, in this playthrough, I used it a lot less just because I discovered the super shotgun ballista combo and became kind of overly reliant on it. So yeah, we are looking for the Seraphim. That's why we're here.
Let's see, there's Cherubim, Seraphim, and a weird third one that I want to say is the eyes with the in the wheel.
Thrones?
No, I'm going off of like shoot, what was it? Isaiah that was talking about all the weird angels. I can't remember.
So that's the thing. I believe that much of the Christian world has interpreted that as description of angels. I think that the actual thing is that he was seeing modern day and trying to
I can believe that.
Explain what he was seeing.
That, or he's seeing, like, you know, if we want to get fun about it, like heaven tech, like just it's like a guy that like isn't gonna we might not even understand what he saw, so he's like completely like, I don't know what I'm looking at. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. It's interesting. That's another thought I have on that is like, well, you know, the Bible's been written and rewritten, so who knows how like jank some of that stuff is to begin with. But yeah. Anyway, it is weird that in Ancient Gods 1 and 2, you do get a lot more biblical vibes, in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're dealing much more into, rather than just the idea of, oh yeah, there's a Dark Lord in hell, and I guess he doesn't like us ravaging hell. We're actually delving into like what his origins and what his motivations are.
I like how there's just sparklers sticking out of his arm. That's good. What's your favorite kind of firework?
I don't know. I mean, I guess the best ones are the ones that go upwards and explode in a big old bloom.
My favorite are pinwheels. You don't see those a lot. I think they're technically illegal. Or at least they have been, because you have to strap them to a piece of something and then hope it doesn't catch on fire.
Another wonderful example of lost souls going down to a single ice bomb.
Yeah. Of course, this conversation reminds me of your family's annual barbecue.
Barbecue, yes. So, the story goes that back when my older brother was younger, like 8 years old or something, he somehow got it in his head that he wanted to blow up a Barbie doll with fireworks. And my parents were like, you know, if we say no, there's a decent chance that he'll just try and do it behind our backs. So let's just make this like a supervised activity. And then that turned into the neighbors noticing it and thinking it was fun, and then it became a competition, and then the competition got more rules, and then we had like trophies and stuff, and now it's themed, and yeah, it's just grown over the past like
pretty great.
20 plus years.
I'm gonna finally participate myself this year, assuming my New Year's Eve day. Wait, yes, New Year's Eve day is not taken up by something. Should be fun.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna get banned for what my plan is.
Well, I mean, we're gonna give you a certain set of fireworks.
Right.
But I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. Conventionally, we would do it on the 4th, or rather 24th of July, because in Utah, the 24th is a state holiday, so it's basically a second 4th of July.
Yeah.
But thanks to COVID, we ended up moving it to New Year's, which is the other time of the year we can use fireworks. And we kind of like that, so now we just do it at New Year's now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun because in Utah, since it's the beginning and the end of July, fireworks are legal the entirety of July in Utah, which is kind of great.
Are they? I thought that they were only legal like within a couple of days of each holiday.
I'm pretty sure it's a blanket time. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, and the dogs will rejoice. But yeah, there's one thing I didn't see this year. I was hoping to is a drone show, since those are getting more big. I saw one last year at a rodeo for the first time, and my brain was like, "This is CGI." I'm like, "No, brain, this is real life. It just looks like CGI."
Yeah, there are a couple of cities around that have started doing drone shows more so than fireworks shows. The first drone show I ever saw was when I went on vacation a couple years ago and saw one at Holiday World in Indiana. That was awesome.
That does sound fun. I can't tell you how many times I died trying to get to that gore nest. Well, not died, but thrown off the wall.
Yeah, you just have to hit that thing to stop the airflow, and then
I knew
come down here.
I knew to do it on the way there, but I forgot it was there on the way back. Wow, I'm guessing that shield's what saved him.
Something like that.
Boom.
So I finally got the destroyer blade on a secret encounter to work properly.
Oh yeah, speaking of blades, you're missing your crucible because you had to break it into the Icon of Sin's head.
Indeed, we do not have our crucible or a rough equivalent. That won't happen until Tag 2.
Now that I think about it, they only give you one extra thing in this DLC, if I recall.
Yeah, one new mechanic. It's mostly new enemies, which are largely recolors of existing enemies.
Right.
That really comes into play in Tag 2, though. So, partially, the big reason for this was because of that whole weekly challenges live service element that I talked about, where I was never able to really take a hearty step away from the game and get deacclimated to it and feel like I wanted more. Even though I had this DLC, I did not end up playing it until I think the day before Tag 2 came out.
Wow. Well, you followed after my own heart, because I have been dragging on this game for years. I don't know why. It's just something about it.
I mean, like we said before, it is intimidating and it is very stressful with all the stuff that's going on everywhere.
Because that's the thing. I think it was... Oh, I know why. It's because I hadn't finished 2016. And then I finally finished 2016. I'm like, okay, now I'll do it.
I don't remember how long after the release of Tag 2 that I played it, but it was not like just the day of, you know, I play Tag 1 and immediately go into Tag 2. It was a while.
So I distinctly remember dying in this room. But I'll tell you at what point I died, because it made me so mad. I got through all of this encounter, and then I hit something, and it killed me.
Oh.
This floor didn't help either.
Yeah, we got an electrified floor. But you're going to hate this. Over here, there's a little thing that might have helped.
Yeah, guess
Hello,
who
health
didn't
refill.
find that till after they figured out the encounter.
Yeah. So typically, if you explode a carcass's shield in its face, it will be staggered afterward.
So what happened was, it was not the Archvile himself that got me killed. It was all the demons after I killed him that I had to deal with. That
Yeah, that's usually the main problem with the Archvile. Because he summons a lot in a single, like, cycle.
I tried to jump to that an embarrassing amount of times before I looked backwards.
Gamers don't look up.
Or back. Oh!
And that's just human nature.
It's weird because it's, you know, you'd think it would be a survival instinct to be a little more aware, but
I mean, how many of our ancient, like, predators came from above?
a lot.
Instead of, like, crouching through the grass.
Well, there's that, but I guess I imagine just Hobbs jumping off a tree to kill Calvin kind of situations, but yeah.
I more imagine, like, a cougar or something crouching in the grass and then jumping out.
I mean, if we had birds the size of, like, pterodactyls, that would be different.
Yeah.
And that would be crazy, just a predator that could just swoop down, grab you, take you off.
You know, mice would probably not have that problem because they did evolve to evade aerial predators.
Because here's the thing. We have been prey in the past, sure. But humans are apex predators in ways that no other animal on Earth is. I used to think, humans are, like, physically inferior to every other animal, but we have our intellect. But that's not true. We have something no other animal has. The ability to run for a stupidly long amount of time. Like, we
have sweat glands, yes.
Yes. I mean,
yeah, it's the ability to just walk and walk and walk and walk. It was ancient hunting technique. You just wound an animal and start walking, and the animal will never be able to rest long enough.
I would say horses probably have similar endurance, but who knows? I don't actually know how to break that down. But humans were like, oh, this animal, I'd say real man's best friend, is very good for getting around places. I say that because there's a meme where it's like, it shows a horse, it's like, looking very mad. It's like, when a human says dogs are man's best friend and not the animal that carried them on their back and plowed their fields and fought in their wars for like 5,000 years. Horses.
Yeah, but does a horse cuddle up to you when you're on the couch?
It'll try. It will try. Cows are actually more dog-like in that sense. I don't know. I like to think of horses and dolphins and hippos into the pantheon of these animals are intelligent enough to sin, do evil, and go straight to hell for their misdeeds. Dolphins especially.
So this room, I remember, is can be a pretty tight fight.
Yeah. So I noticed the shield gets damaged even with other weapons. It just won't overload, right?
I believe, yeah, I don't think it'll explode.
Now I'm thinking of Hungry Hungry Hippos. That game is hard.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, it was... Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Mr. Plow where Homer mentioned Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Oh, yeah.
And now we play the waiting game.
Yeah, wait, when did he mention that in Mr. Plow?
That was after they saw their commercial at like 4 a.m.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the waiting game sucks.
Yep. It's funny because there's two jokes I remember the most in that episode. One is the, don't worry, Marge, this baby's sure-footed as a mountain goat. Mountain goat falls to its death. And then there's the, when two friends are united, not even God himself can stand against them. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God just melts the snow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a shocking amount of attention to detail in Barney being, shoot. Who was, is it, which
the
beetle
Plow
was
King.
it? No, which beetle? It's not Ringo.
Are you talking about the B Sharps one?
No. Wait, maybe I am.
Because when he had
the
the impressionist Japanese girlfriend, that was B Sharps.
Right. Okay. I'm mixing it up. When
whoever's girlfriend was Yoko Ono.
It's John.
John Lennon.
John Lennon. Thank you. No, I'm mixing it up with who's the country singer girl that almost like convinced Homer to sleep with her or whatever?
Lurleen Lumpkin.
Yeah, that's what I'm mixing up. Because she was in that episode doing the Spanish Mr. Plow, I think. Unless
no,
it wasn't her.
that was a different. The one that he did the Mr. Plow song with was Linda Ronstadt, who was a real person.
Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, we're looking to do a project together.
I love that. Because, like, Barney is a very intelligent person, minus the alcohol, or without the alcohol.
If he can just stay off the hooch, he is a very creative.
He could have been an astronaut. Like,
oh yeah,
it's the craziest thing. This was non-alcoholic wine.
Barney. After all I've done for you. That was in Mr. Plow as well, so...
But yeah, I'd love the backstory of, like... I know this is a joke, but I want the writers to say why he knew Linda Ronstadt. But it doesn't matter. That's why the joke is funny. But yes, I do like the part where he takes a baseball bat to Homer's crotch with cardboard standee repeatedly. That was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Save some for me, Barney.
Yes, the key to the Seraphim's chamber.
So, due to the length of these DLC levels, most of them had to be split into 2 parts, and that includes this one. So, we are almost done.
Yeah, and I thought I was like, oh, what were you saying, Ryan? This level isn't very long.
The Seraphim's chamber key has been removed. The Slayer has the key. This facility will self-destruct in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
I gotta give them props for not having a long countdown. More evil villains need to do that.
Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah, I like that the Slayer, nonchalantly walks away, and then once he comes back, he's like on the floor.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe I was underestimating that one.
The Seraphim is the key to the human soul.
Huh. That looks just like what we carried Vega in.
Yeah, it's all Urdak tech. All right, well, we will see you next time.